The Water Starter, the last but certainly not least of the starter lineup. The Water Starter completes the iconic trio, and it's the Water Starter's job to be a balance between the fire and grass starters. And since we already have a cool Evo line and a powerful one, that means my water line can fill the elegant niche. There's a very sad amount of otter species that are on the endangered list for one reason or another. But in particular, the first Evo is inspired by sea otters. So let's meet your Usana Water Starter. This is Totter, the enthusiastic Pokemon. The name is a combination of tot, otter, and water. Totter has changed quite a bit from its previous design, from the pose to patterns. But at the same time, I feel like it looks the most like my original. The biggest complaint I had with the previous one was not enough interaction with the special pearl, and I think this pose definitely fixes that. Totter might look like it's just lazing about, but it probably just got done running around and has gotten tired. Otters in real life like to collect stones and tend to have a favorite, so Totter's pearl is kinda like that. This design is super cute and innocent looking, and I kinda love it. And I'll be honest, I decided to make Totter the Usana Water Starter because I was really disappointed when Duwat turned into Samurott. Like, otter is still in the name, and I really wanted a big otter, which is just my opinion. Totter have an instinct that draws them to their trainer. Some say Totter chooses you. For the shiny colors, I stayed with the same pink-blue color swap that I did the first time. Now let's see what Totter's next evolution will be. This is Divinaut, and the name is a combination of divination and otter. And of the Usana starters, this might be my favorite middle Evo. I just feel like it's the perfect middle ground between Totter and the final Evo. The TV misconception that inspired the Totter line is genies. I Dream of Genie to be exact. Technically, I Dream of Genie is a misrepresentation of Jinn, which is what they were called before being translated to Genie when the Arabian Nights was translated into French. Divinaut's fur resembles something like the classic I Dream of Genie's belly dancer wardrobe, and Divinaut has now tapped into its latent psychic abilities and can float through the air as if swimming in water. They keep their prize pearl close and use it to glimpse the near future. The colors didn't change much on this Evo line, as the first version was already pretty much where I wanted it to be. And of course, since the last two have a special hidden ability, so does Divinaut. Simple Seer copies the opponent's stat changes, for better or for worse. I wanted its ability to be a bit of a double-edged sword, since knowing the future isn't always a good thing. And now it's time to meet our final Usana starter's final Evo. This is Mystiseer, and the name is a combination of mist, mystic, and seer, which is another word for someone who has visions. This is because Mystiseer has fully tapped into its psychic powers and can now make predictions about how things will turn out. They are the friendliest of the three Usana starters and have an outgoing and bubbly personality. And while we are talking about personality, the music inspiration is pop and K-pop. With a larger-than-life personality, I think Mystiseer perfectly embodies the genres. Mystiseer is another case of a lot of small changes, but still looking very similar to the original version. I changed the pose from the classic I Dream of Genie, which felt stiff, to the much more active one it has now. I think of the three starters, I'm especially attached to the Totter line. Maybe because I technically came up with it for my very first region concept like 8 years ago, and I've been refining it since. But I've spent so much time making this design, it's only natural that I would get attached. Oh, and yes, it's still fitting of the endangered to invasive theme, now being a river otter. And I like how it shows how one species can be endangered while another can be invasive. And that's the final starter for the Usana region. I hope you guys liked the redraws and slight reworks of the starters. If you liked the video, hit that like button. And if you aren't subscribed, you should be, so you don't miss out on more fakemon and chaos. Leave a comment below letting me know if you're picking Totter, and any theories you might have about the Usana region. The next Usana video will probably be covering some, but not all, of the early route Pokemon, and what changes I've made to the lineup. Thanks again for all your support, and if you're looking for more vids to watch, I have a ton to choose from. That's all for now. Until next time.